If you are following up on the recent events in politics, you might have heard that the Brazilian elections in October 2022 took place. Two candidates went on a second round to decide who is going to be Brazil's next president. The extremist, far-right, fascist Bolsonaro, who is looking to be re-elected, and Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, a populist leftist candidate. Lula recently came out of jail after being absolved of his crimes committed during his two mandates as President of the Republic of Brazil between 2003 and 2010. We all know who won. Lula is taking the government over on the 1st of January 2023. The country is divided, as he won by 0.90%. Protests and gatherings happened throughout the months of the announcement, and a lot of people only voted for one or the other, not necessarily because they fully supported each candidate, but rather, there is no better option. But what about monarchy? In this video, we will examine the idea of what if Brazil were a monarchy again? Hello and welcome to this video of Terra Librarium. Thank you for stopping by. I am so happy that you found us. Without further ado, let's jump right on it. Firstly, let's better understand what happened in Brazil's history. The Brazilian monarchy was established in 1822. When Portugal's crown prince, Dom Pedro, defied his parliament and proclaimed an independent Brazil under his rule. The Brazilian Empire got off to a rough start. However, in 1831 Emperor Pedro I abdicated in favor of his 5-year-old son, Pedro II, and returned to Portugal. Pedro II was crowned emperor in 1841, and proved to be a much more capable leader than his father. Under Dom Pedro II, Brazil thrived. It became a reference for political stability, inclusion, diversity and respect. During his 5-decade reign, Brazil enjoyed unprecedented stability, as its troubled economy stabilized and began to grow. Back then, there was a strong movement regarding slavery. The United States is probably the most famous example of a divided country. One half wanted to keep slavery, while the other half wanted to give these people their freedom. It was only in 1865 that the 13th Amendment ensured that slavery was banned in the U.S. Brazil implemented the law of the free womb in 1871, which declared free all children born after the law was passed. 17 years later, on May 13, 1888, Brazilian Princess Isabel of Bragança, Dom Pedro II's wife, signed Imperial Law No. 3353. Although it contained just 18 words, it is one of the most important pieces of legislation in Brazilian history. Called the Golden Law, it abolished slavery in all its forms. This law marked the downfall of Brazilian monarchy. The fact that they freed all the slaves in Brazil was a huge hit for the landowners, which through a coup, deposed and banned the royal family from Brazil, imposing a 100-year exile of their heirs. After being deposed, Pedro II went to Europe, where he died in exile 2 years later. It goes without saying that the people of Brazil loved their emperor. He was pretty forward-thinking. Implemented a lot of infrastructures and concepts in Brazil that are used up until this day. He was able to speak and write not only Portuguese, but also Latin, French, German, English, Italian, Spanish, Greek, Arabic, Hebrew, Sanskrit, Chinese, Occitan, and Tupi, one of the many native languages of Brazil. So, if you are still watching, you might be thinking, yes, but what does that have to do with the current political scenario in Brazil? If the monarchy returned, it would be a relief. Brazilians would celebrate it as a great national party because people are fed up with the republic. Dom Bertrand, a great-great-grandson of Brazil's last emperor, Pedro II, said, "These are tough times in Brazil. Whether it's the current pandemic, political instability or a just-finished truckers' strike that crippled the economy for more than a week. Things are bad and not necessarily getting better." The last time Brazilians held a referendum on restoration, in 1993, only 10% voted yes. However, Dom Bertrand says a majority would back the move today. Brazilians are indirectly natural monarchists, he says, citing the love of naming carnival kings and queens, and nicknaming footballing legend Pelé the King. The monarchy has a certain charm that the republic lacks, Dom Bertrand said. I don't expect you to embrace any thoughts on this video, but I would like to leave it here with a reflection. What if? Would it be terrible for the country to have a ruler? A sign of stability? Let's look at Queen Elizabeth of England for a second. who ruled during World War II. All the way to the post-pandemic era, she has always been there. And I think that's all for this video. So I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to me. If you enjoy this sort of content, don't forget to like this video. Leave a comment and subscribe to our channel. This really supports us, and it helps us to reach more people. So I thank you in advance.